much, Mr Deputy Speaker. Can I pay tribute to the honourable gentleman who gave a speech of extraordinary fluency and power, and I really do pay tribute to him. And we all know in this House that racism is morally and intellectually bankrupt. That's the easy bit to say. The difficult thing to face up to is that there are clear examples of it being on the rise. We might have lulled ourselves into a false feeling of security that there's an iron rule of social progress which determines that it should wither as is its only right, so to speak. But in fact, it isn't, and we see much more of it. It hasn't been consigned to the dustbin of history. Now, people have, honourable gentlemen and ladies, have mentioned in this House what the possible reasons are for it. We've talked a little bit about social media, but it's worth identifying why social media is relevant. And the reason is this, as it seems to me. You can have individuals who exist in communities which are otherwise beacons of tolerance, and yet it's the online community which is more important to that individual than the real-world community that they live within. When people talk about loners in the past, that might have been an individual who was alone with their books, but now, of course, that loner is behind a screen, finding individuals who have similar outlooks and warped perspectives elsewhere in the world. And the critical point is this: it allows that individual to normalise atrocious and appalling behaviour, to say unspeakable things about which they then find succour and comfort elsewhere in the world and drive each other on to ever more unspeakable thoughts and, in some appalling cases, actions. So what are the solutions? Time doesn't allow any great opportunity to expand upon these, but there are three things which I would invite the House to consider. First, we have to do everything possible to ensure that individuals can build those real-world experiences of interacting with people of other backgrounds and faiths. One of the things that has struck me so powerfully in Cheltenham is to see people of all backgrounds coming together through the National Citizenship Service, for example, meeting people who they might never otherwise expect to have any contact with, and finding in the inspiring words of Joe Cox that we have, of course, more in common. But increasingly it requires the hand of the state to intervene to ensure that those opportunities are available. And we see in Cheltenham, in the Community Day that was held in Winston Churchill Gardens, people of all faiths interacting and being enriched through that experience. The second aspect, and again, forgive me for mentioning Cheltenham again, but the security services are intensely important, and at GCHQ we have some of the finest minds anywhere in our country, and one of their key tasks is to root out violent extremism of the far right or the far left and to bring it to justice. And the third point is that the social media companies do need to bring their house into order. I strongly welcome the white paper that's been issued today, and this will lay down a marker. If material which is likely to inspire hate and intolerance comes to be on their platforms, they have a duty to take it down within a reasonable period, and if they don't, the state will take action and it will hit them where it hurts, in their pocket. I give way.
Very grateful to the honourable member for giving way, and the important points he's making, both with regard to GCHQ and to the tech giants. Would he agree with me that in order to be more able to and better seen to eliminate racial discrimination from platforms, from technology, from GCHQ, the tech giants and others, including GCHQ, should better represent the diversity of the country in which they are rooted?
Yes, of course, that's absolutely right. When I was referring to the tech giants, I was thinking about Facebook and Instagram. But certainly it is the case that our security and intelligence agencies like GCHQ should, of course, be diverse. And I know that's something they take extremely seriously. But the most important point, if I may say so, when I go round and meet people from GCHQ, is their absolute common determination, whether they are black, white, gay, straight, or whatever, to tackle and root out this kind of hate-filled behaviour, to bring it to justice, and they are utterly determined in that quest. And I found it extremely moving and uplifting to hear their determination to achieve precisely that. And with those remarks, Mr Deputy Speaker, I will conclude. But thank you for the opportunity to...
Bottomley, can I say...